When browsing the web to complete assignments or finish research, most students have probably come across a page a little like this. The page credits the Children's Internet Protection Act as the reason the search was blocked. We asked the West Ada School District Chief Technology Officer to explain what that means.
The federal law mandates that if we want to receive E-rate funds, that we must put internet filtering in place. There's also an Idaho law that mandates that we put filtering in place. But it's really up to the district to establish the protocols and the processes and what will be blocked. By and large, I think our philosophy and our goal is to make sure that we uphold the standards that we have in our community. So it's a balancing of what we open and what we close and what we try and make sure that students have access to for educational purposes.
Naturally, leaving the interpretation of internet safety up to the district will result in various forms of execution, making one wonder how proper any form could be.
Do you feel like it's being used properly in this?
Yeah, I would say this. I think that we have a responsibility. I think Devin and I see eye to eye on this. We have a responsibility to make sure that when we put devices in kids' hands, when we give internet to kids, things like that, access to that, there's we know that there's all types of things that are available on the internet. I think as a school, as a district, it's our responsibility to make sure that we have certain barriers in place to make sure that there's a responsible use of the technology and the internet that's available.
Senator Roger Wicker has a very different view on censorship of the internet.
It is ironic that when the subject is net neutrality, technology companies, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, have warned about the grave threat of blocking or throttling the flow of information on the internet. Meanwhile, these same companies are actively blocking and throttling the distribution of content on their own platforms and are using protections under Section 30 to do it. Is it any surprise that voices on the right are complaining about hypocrisy, or even worse, anti-democratic election interference?
Most schools don't make this an issue, refining the process as new needs arise.
We have had students email the technology department. We had a student who emailed and said during election time when they found that some of our election websites weren't open and alerted us to the fact that that wasn't done. So we do that on a daily basis by trying to stay alert and aware of what's happening and monitoring the requests and opening and blocking things when we get alerted to them. And then we go through a process every few years and we evaluate filtering technology, and we will either choose to stay with the product that we have, or we look at what's in the marketplace and see if there's things that are meet some of our more current needs and something that is new and needs to be implemented that has more features.
These features are chosen not only for security, but for ease of use for teachers as well.
I think the biggest piece that we look at is, or one of the biggest pieces that we look at is how is this going to impact teaching and learning? And I think that goes around everything that we do. How can we make it effective for that? But I think also our community has an expectation that when kids are on our devices, using our internet, things like that we provide some protections in place. Same that I have for my own kids when they're in my house.
Protection is, of course, something that most people wish for, but a question that must be asked is, should students, or truly their parents, have any say on how much protection they receive? As mentioned previously, research tends to be a huge failing point of the Children's Internet Protection Act. When doing research on this very project, we ran into this page, limiting our ability to learn why we cannot learn some knowledge. Luckily, this federal law is backed by good intentions, allowing limits to be redefined and have a less noticeably negative impact on our lives.
I think we are always, one of the things I love about our technology department is we are always looking to improve the way we do business. I mean, I can even think, I'm going to go back 4 or 5 years ago where a lot more was blocked. And now it's not that we've loosened up. I think we've just refined that process to say, okay, these are the things that really need to be blocked. These are the things that don't really need to be blocked. And so I think we've gotten better with that. And I think we'll see continual improvement with that. But we've got a fabulous department that continues to work on that all the time. chime in on that a little